What's up? It's I, Pachicos again. And today I want to talk about how to become a web dev. When I say web dev, I mean front end web dev. There's also the back end of the web dev that I cannot help you with. Though I'm going to be linking here the web developer roadmap. That's a very great resource for you that want to learn to code. So, web dev. If you just go to the medias, ask for help, it's going to tell you lots of different things. But one thing that everybody agrees is there's three things that I had to know to be a web developer in front end: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But wait, before we get to that, it's great if you can learn about the internet, how the internet works. What is HTTP? Browsers, what is a browser? How do they work? I'm gonna be linking a very awesome, very fun video that is very awesome to learn about that. You can also just read just things about the internet in the internet. And after you know how the internet works, you should learn HTML. What is HTML? It's a hypertext markup language and is the core of the internet. Like all the websites have a back and HTML. It's a simple language that it doesn't have logic, so it's not considered a programming language, though some will argue with that. I am one of those people, but I don't want to argue about anything right now. So some people just learn the very basics of HTML and then go to the next step, which is fine, but I recommend you to just spend some extra time learn the basics, but also learn about writing semantic HTML. That I'm gonna record a video about that at some point. And accessibility, that's so important, but many people just forget about accessibility. What does that mean? It means that you're learning with HTML in your HTML to make your website or whatever you're creating accessible to people that have some issue, and maybe they don't hear well, maybe they don't see well, and you want to make your website for everybody, right? So accessibility is something that you're going to want to learn. If you learn those things, you can go to the next level. You might want to learn like some SEO basics and all those things. But for now, HTML basics, semantic HTML, and accessibility in your HTML. You learn that you're not going to learn all the tags. Sometimes people ask me, hey, how do I learn all the HTML tags? You just won't. There are too many tags. That's okay. You just have to learn the basics so you can know, you can find out what you can do with HTML, what HTML does, and after that it's totally fine. You just Google. I have been working with web dev for a while, and every time I have to do to get some input, an input tag, I go to W3 Schools because they have all the syntax. It makes life easier, and that's totally fine. You don't have to know everything. Okay, after you learn the basics of HTML, CSS, cascading style sheets, they go side to side with HTML. HTML is fine, you can make websites with only HTML, but think about HTML as a school, and the CSS is what gives shape, it gives style or place things. Some people say that CSS is just what makes the website prettier. It does, but that's not just what CSS does. It gives placement, it gives life to your website. So learn that, learn the basics, learn how to make layouts. And some people want to skip right straight to JavaScript because JavaScript has logic, is where the magic happens because it's a programming language. Don't. Take your time, learn HTML, learn CSS. Now think about your favorite website. Can you copy it with HTML and CSS? Can you redo it? Or once you're comfortable recreating websites with HTML and CSS, even if it's not pixel perfect, it just looks good enough, then go to JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript. JavaScript has dynamics to the website and effects and cool things. JavaScript is a little harder to learn because it's a programming language, so I had to learn all the syntax and all the logic and other things. If you already know another programming language, it may be helpful because even though programming languages are all different, they have similar databases. And to learn JavaScript, same thing, learn the basics. Just learn the basics. until you're comfortable with it. Again, you're never gonna learn every single thing, and Googling is also always fine. Always. It doesn't matter. If you go and ask for seniors, and if they are nice and they are honest with you, they're gonna tell you that they Google every day. The difference, there's a joke saying the difference between a junior and a senior is that the senior knows how to Google. So yes, those are the three things that you want to learn: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And on the side, you can want to learn about how the internet works and how Git works. Git is something that's nice to learn. Don't focus much on that right now, but add that to your list. Let me say, resources, yay! My favorite free resource is FreeCodeCamp. FreeCodeCamp is for the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They have a text-based platform, so you read, you learn about it, but the cool thing is that you have a space to practice right away. So you learn and you do, you learn and you do. And they have certificates too, it's also always fun. They have other courses, if you want to learn other things. Not all of their courses text-based, but the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are. YouTube, again, remember my last video, what was the first thing I told you about learning? You need to know what kind of learner you are. So if you learn with video, and that's how your brain likes to learn, so FreeCodeCamp won't work for you. So maybe you had to go to YouTube and find somebody that does. There are so many people on YouTube teaching you stuff. You had to find somebody that has the right vibe, the right way to teach that works with you. Like I mentioned before, when I learned JavaScript, there was this one Udemy course that everybody swore by. When I got that, I couldn't use that, and I used another one and helped. So you had to find the right people. Udemy is not free, but as like, if you just want JavaScript, you can have like 1,000 instructors there teaching JavaScript. You have the option to usually to listen to the first class or to introduction, and then you can get a feeling for how the instructor talks, and that is going to be helpful for you to don't just buy anything because somebody indicated. Try to listen to get a taste of how the instructor speaks, and they're going to be helpful. So there are books, not too many for HTML and CSS, but if you want to learn JavaScript, you can get the Eloquent JavaScript and you know JavaScript in their online versions for free. What else? I don't remember what else I was going to say. But yes, FreeCodeCamp, Codecademy, similar to FreeCodeCamp. They are paid. They do have some free resources. But yes, YouTube, internet, Dad.to, it has great tutorials. And the one thing that I'm going to be talking about next week, but I'm going to tell you right now so you can start thinking about it. Document your journey, okay? Start blogging. And I'm going to tell you more about why and how to start blogging in the next video. But again, if you want to be a web developer in the front end side, you've got to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Do not think about React or Vue or Angular right now. Don't. Just don't. Why? Trust me, once you start learning the frameworks, you're going to be so comfortable because you know the basis and you're comfortable with that. They're going to make a lot of difference in the long run. So this is what I have for you today. I hope it's helpful. Please ask any questions in the comments, or you can feel free to contact me on Twitter as well. And if you want to learn to code with me, I'm online every weekday on twitch.com, just doing some live coding. Actually, right now I'm learning Python, but if you have questions, you can stop by and I'm gonna answer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe. Thank you, and have a great week.